Now, this is the number 7 of the tidbits from the Word of a series of 7 of by faith and by choices. By choices to be faithful or not be faithful. Now, we find that the disciples, we come up to the New Testament now after looking at Old Testament people who were faithful. We come up to the New Testament people, and we come to this guy called Peter. Andrew first made a choice. Jesus said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And Andrew followed him, and he went and he got his brother Peter. And Peter came. Peter made a choice. Jesus said, "Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men." Now, Peter was a fisherman, had his own boats, had his own place, and he made a choice, conscious choice to follow Jesus Christ. And with that following, would suffer some separation from the family, would suffer some persecution. Now, Peter had been married, and perhaps his wife had died, and he was living with his mother-in-law, or his mother-in-law was living with him, and they were in the same house, let's put it that way. And the Lord came to Peter's house, or his mother-in-law's house, and she was sick. And the Lord, first thing the Lord did is heal her. And she got right up, and she made them some breakfast, some food, put it on the table and fed them. And by faith, Peter saw these things, and he said, "I'm going to follow this Jesus." So he chose to do that on purpose. Choices on purpose. That's what we're talking about. Choosing on purpose. Have you chosen on purpose to serve Jesus Christ? Have you chosen on purpose to serve God? Have you chosen on purpose to forsake the ways of the world? Do you still enjoy the things of the world instead of God? If you do, you better check your salvation out. You know, a man cannot serve two masters, the Bible said. He'll love one and hate the other. If you are trying to serve yourself and God, you got to fight. You got a losing battle. You're in a losing battle. Because I can tell you who already won. Self has already won. You cannot serve yourself and God. Now, self will carry you to hell. You say, "Well, Brother Peter, I asked the Lord to save me, but you didn't mean it." "Oh, yes, I did." You say, "I meant it." No, you didn't mean it. If you have not had a difference in your life, you did not mean it. And you say, "How is that, Brother Peter?" Well, the Bible said you cannot serve two masters. You're going to love one and hate the other. Now, if you're still serving self and the devil, you're really hating God. You say, "Well, I don't hate God." Yeah, you do. You say, "Well, how do I hate God?" Well, you won't obey him. You won't do what he said. You won't give up the things of the world. Well, what are those things? Well, they start with lying, cheating, stealing, doing those things that you did. All the things that you did before you asked the Lord to save you, they should be gone. Well, they ain't gone yet. Well, no, they're not. You know why? You're holding on to them. You got to let them go, and you got to give them up. You say, "Well, Brother Peter, how long did it take you to give up?" Well, it took me a year or so to give up some things. There are a few little things I still fight with. I fought this morning with putting my feet on the floor and getting up and doing what I was supposed to do first day of the year. And that was get up when the Lord woke me up, get out of bed when the Lord woke me up, and get on this machine and do this talking, and then I'd be done with it now, and I wouldn't be sitting here tired. And so I should have done that, but I didn't do that. Now, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word. If you're not hearing the word, your faith will not grow. So you need to make a choice today. Are you going to hear the word? Choice. Keep on keeping on. The name of this one is Keep On Keeping On. Are you keeping on keeping on? Are you keeping on keeping on? That's a big question. If you start something, you need to finish it. You need to keep on keeping on. If you leave out to go to the grocery store, you can't pick up any groceries if you don't get to the store. So what do? You keep on driving. You may get stopped by a red light. You may get stopped by a stop sign. You may get stopped by an accident on the road. You may get stopped by many things. Do you turn around and go back home? No, you keep on keeping on if you're going to get to the grocery store and get your groceries. Well, that's the same way with Christian living. You got to keep on keeping on by choosing to keep on. Now, as you keep it up, you're going to come out eventually. How long you been saved, Brother Peter? I've been saved 39 years. And, well, during that 39 years, have you ever backed up a little bit? Yes, I have. I have fell off a few times, but I got right back up and got right back on the horse and started riding again. Best thing you can do if you dump your motorcycle, which I've got one and I have dumped it, get right back on it and go to riding again. If you're riding a horse, get right back on it. If you're fighting a battle with the devil and he wins, get right back in the Lord and say, Lord, forgive me of that and give me the victory over it, and I'm fixing to go forward. You say, well, Brother Peter, you don't know, but I said I never would take another drink, and I broke down and ended up in a beer joint last night, and today's Sunday, and I tell you what you do. If you want to break yourself of that habit, when you get down there this morning, you ask the preacher if you could have a minute in front of the church, and you just step up down there and you just say, hey, my name's Peter, and last night I fell off the wagon, and I went to a beer joint, and the Lord whipped me good, and I still stink of the stuff, and I want you all to pray for me that I not do that again and help me, and I want you to forgive me because I was a bad witness to the church. And then go sit down, shut up, and listen to what the preacher's got to say, and you start it over again, clean, anew, and feel good and fresh, and you're ready to go. Other than that, what you're probably going to do is you're going to kick yourself, condemn yourself, you're going to get yourself in a muddle in a corner somewhere and say, I ain't worthy to be a Christian, or I ain't worthy to follow the Lord, or I ain't worthy to hear him, or whatever, which you're not, by the way. It's through his righteousness that makes you worthy, and therefore you'll end up back down in that beer joint, doing the same thing over again, being miserable. There's nothing more miserable than a man who really, truly asked Jesus into his heart, meant what he said, and said what he meant, and starts to follow the Lord, and then gets back in the world. He'll be a miserable man till the day he dies, and he'll never be happy again if he truly meant what he said. God's going to whip him. He'll put him in the grave. If he has to, he'll take you home early. We got more sick people today than we ever had before. The busiest place on earth today right now is a hospital in this country. The busiest place in other countries is the burial ground. They can't bury them fast enough in countries where they burn them. They can't burn them fast enough. Some countries, they're dying so fast that they put them in mass graves, and they just keep piling them up for a week. And then they take a bulldozer and bury the whole pile of human beings died and went to hell because they didn't believe in Jesus Christ, and they fell off the face of the earth and died and went to hell. Why? Because they did not believe. You say, Brother Peter, what if they didn't hear the gospel? They heard the gospel. Everybody's heard the gospel today. The gospel has gone throughout the whole world today, the whole known world. Do you know there's hardly, even in the darkest, deepest places in the wilderness of Africa and whatever, there's hardly a place where the computer hasn't got, or where some kind of system has got, and there's hardly anywhere you can go that you won't find it